Okay, tribe, happy new moon day. Happy new moon in Leo. Sending blessings to you today. Vina Lene here, moon priestess, womb whisperer, and channeler of the divine. And I'm excited to bring you some insights around what's going on in the cosmos right now, as well as some guidance for this lunar cycle. And I've also pulled 3 tarot cards tonight, so I will be sharing a tarot reading for our lunar cycle as well. So if you are catching the replay for this, know that the new moon's energy does stick around for about 2 or 3 days after its darkest expression. So you've got a lot of time to hold your own personal new moon circle or new moon ritual ceremony. Anything that you want to do to honor this moon should be around, the energy for that should be around at least until probably Thursday or Friday. So I'd like to start our moon circle first by just taking a few deep breaths, and then I'll actually set up our circle with a few elements, and I'll explain that as well. So let's just find a nice, comfortable seat wherever you are. Find supportive posture in your spine. Go ahead and bring your hands to your heart and really let your hands be a guide for your breath. So as you inhale, feel your breath moving down past your heart, down into your belly. And as you exhale, feel your breath move back out of your belly, past your heart, and back out through your nose or mouth. So let's do this just a few times. Go ahead and close the eyes. Take a deep breath in, past the heart, down into the belly. Take a deep breath out, past the heart, back out. Let's do this a few times. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Let's take one more breath like this. Inhale, exhale. Keep the eyes closed, but relax your hands back down and just sink in for a moment. Connect to gravity, let go of tension in the body, and begin to blink your eyes open. So I'm going to begin by creating a moon circle here in the physical space that I'm in here at my studio. But just know that the energy of the circle that I'm creating is for our virtual space as well. Although I certainly invite you to create your own circle, bring in your own elements for any ritual or ceremony you would like to do as well. So whenever I create a moon circle, I bring in all of the elements, all 5 elements: earth, wind, fire, water, and ether. So the first thing I've brought in to our circle tonight is earth elements, crystals and gemstones. I actually have several. The first one I'm wearing citrine tonight. And I'll go ahead and take this off so you can see it up close. And there's some other stones on here as well, but you can see this yellow citrine. There we go. And there's some more of it right there, clear and a little bit more cloudy. So citrine is a stone for the solar plexus chakra, and it's a stone to help us to build more confidence. And right now the new moon is in Leo. We're going to talk about this tonight, but this is an energy of confidence right now. So I am bringing in citrine to boost my own solar plexus and my own feelings of empowerment and confidence. I also have a rough tumbled citrine here, just so that you can see what that looks like. It's just a more clear version of the stone. And this one is a bit pointed, kind of like a pyramid. It almost reminds me, I didn't even think about that until now, but it reminds me of the pyramids of Giza, which we'll talk a little bit about Egypt tonight as well. But this is citrine. And then I also have rose quartz, and this is one of my personal rose quartz that I work with. It's actually in the shape of a heart naturally. And rose quartz works with the heart energy, and Leo is ruled by the element of fire. And this also, they are also ruled by their heart, Leos, and Leo energy is ruled by the heart. So we've got our rose quartz tonight. And then finally, I was only going to bring in the 2 stones, but this one spoke to me as I was here at the studio tonight. But this is my angel aura quartz as well. And you can see It's very, very sparkly. This has been charging at my studio where the angels are called upon every single day. So this is a really, really potent crystal right now. And I'll talk about why I'm bringing this crystal into our transmission later on, but this is an angel aura quartz. The camera doesn't even do it justice. It's very magical. So these are the 3 stones that I'm bringing in tonight to bring in the element of earth. The other thing I'm bringing in from the earth element is a smudging stick, and this is just the basic white sage tonight. I'm going to bring in the element of fire to light this smudging stick, and this will bring in the element of wind, also known as smoke. So smoke is the element that shows us the veil between what's seen and what's not seen, which is a great energy to bring in tonight with this new moon when things are very dark and we have to use our intuition or believe in those things in the darkness even if we can't see them. So I'm going to smudge both the area that I'm in, smudge myself here, preparing to receive any channel transmissions from the divine, from the cosmos. Anything that needs to speak through me, may it be clear. And also may the smoke go out to you, Moon Tribe, into the ether so that you receive it. And the space is pure and clean between us right now that we're sharing. And also, even if you're catching on the replay, the magic of the smoke is still there. So may the smoke cleanse our space, and may all transmissions that need to be received, perceived, channeled, heard, be done so clearly. And so it is. So we'll just continue to let that sage burn. I'm just going to let that go there so you can see the smoke. And I'm also going to light a candle tonight. You're not going to be able to see this, but this is a candle from a good friend of mine that she gifted to me. It says good vibes only. So we're going to bring our good vibes only candle in tonight because we are in this dark moon energy, and the dark moon, the new moon tends to bring in lower frequencies sometimes. So we're just going to remind ourselves to keep it positive. And I'll let that kind of go right there, just below our transmission. Okay, so we have our elements of earth through our crystals and gemstones. We have our smudging stick. We've brought in the element of fire. We've brought in the element of air or smoke. And now we're going to bring in the element of water. And tonight I'm using a couple of essential oils. So I actually have my diffuser going in the background tonight. And I'm using the exact same oils that we used in our last circle, our full moon circle in Aquarius. I'm using peppermint and ylang-ylang or a-ling-a-ling, depending on how you'd like to pronounce it. So ylang-ylang is an essential oil that works on the heart. It's actually known emotionally as the oil of the heart, and it can help us to create feelings of peace and equanimity. It also works with our circulation and our actual blood and our blood pressure. It helps us to de-stress, and it creates a sense of balance within us. This is a time when energy is a bit imbalanced. Gravity is slightly stronger on Earth right now in a new moon, so we want to find ways to feel more harmonious in a time when the Earth might feel a little bit shaky. Now, I've also brought in peppermint oil tonight. I'm diffusing that as well because peppermint is the oil of the buoyant heart. And it helps us to bring up anything out of the heart that may be stuck, anything that's holding us back. Peppermint is also a great essential oil to help work on your throat chakra. And Leo energy is all about allowing yourself to roar. So we really want to learn to enhance our throat chakra throughout this lunar cycle, learning to express ourselves, not only through our voice and our needs and our wants, but also just our truest expression of our most authentic form. And that comes through a healthy throat chakra. So those are the 2 oils I'm working with tonight. And those are steam distilled. So that brings in the energy of water into our circle. I already mentioned the 5th element, ether. The ether is this space that we're sharing right now, this virtual digital space where we can communicate. And the great thing about the ether is it withstands space and time. So even if you are tuning into this transmission down the road, you're still going to feel the same effects as you would if you were doing the circle live, or, you know, if you're receiving the smudging live or doing the meditations, the breathwork live. It's all just as powerful when we share it through the ether. And that's why, you know, the virtual space in the digital world is such a powerful place for us to connect. Okay, so with that, sisters, I'm just going to take a deep breath. And our circle is sealed and ready to receive all that comes through. So I'm interested to know how you're feeling with this moon. I know that Risha, I'm just going to check the chat, but I know Risha already said that she was feeling very productive, pardon me, feeling lots of energy. I'm not seeing anything else in the chat yet, just wanted to double check that. This is a moon that's bringing in, it's not your typical new moon. So we do have a lot of energy with this new moon. I'll talk about this in just a minute, but let's talk about the new moon in general and what that means. So the new moon right now, the moon is aligned with the sun. And in a sense, what we're seeing is the dark side of the moon. So we can't see the moon because it's in between us and the sun right now. It's lined up with the sun, and it tends to make gravity stronger on Earth's side. So right now we're in a dark time. It's hard to see outside at nighttime, and the actual energy of gravity is stronger. So we feel heavy. We feel a little low. We feel darker in a way, because physically when we're pulled down, when we sink down into our bodies, when we feel heavy, that tends to show up emotionally as well. It can show up in our mood. So new moons are a time when you might be feeling low frequency. You might be feeling some sense of like jealousy or anger or rage, or you might have heightened emotions in general that you don't understand how to process. You might be feeling anxious right now. You might be feeling depressed. You might be feeling stuck, lethargic, unmotivated. These are all normal feelings that come with a new moon, simply because we are natural beings. We are affected by nature, and gravity is stronger right now. Now, new moons also symbolize new beginnings, right? It's always darkest before the dawn. It's one of my favorite quotes. I say it all the time. But, you know, you think about the darkness of a seed that's planted in the soil. You know, so much comes out of that seed. But in the beginning, we can't see it. We can't see what's happening underneath the earth in the darkness. And this is the time that we're in right now. New moons are a time of new beginnings. We're in that dark time where we're uncertain. Things are starting to happen underneath the surface. And then as the light comes to the moon in a few days, we'll start to feel an energy shift to move forward and kind of grow with our energy as well. So great time to start new things, right? We don't have to wait till the beginning of the new year to start a new habit or a new intention. We can start one right now, and a new moon is a great time to do it. Now, every moon aligns with a particular zodiac sign, and this moon is aligning with the zodiac sign of Leo. So anytime you're in new moon energy, because the moon and the sun are joined together right now, the moon is going to have the same sign as whatever season the sun is in. We are in Leo season for a few more days now. We still have about 4 more days left in Leo season. And so that's why we have a new moon in Leo. Okay, so I'm curious to know, Risha, I know you're here right now. I'm curious if anybody else is here. Does anybody here have Leo in their chart? I'm just curious. Let me know if you do. Put it in the chat. I've got my lion shirt on, by the way. I'm a Leo rising. I'm a Libra sun, Leo rising, Capricorn moon. If you have Leo in your chart right now, you're going to be a little bit more affected with this new moon than others. Or if you are a fire sign, because Leo is a fire sign. So we're highlighting the element of fire right now. So Leo energy, Leo is represented by the lion. And when we think about the lion, we think usually things like courage. You know, I think of the Wizard of Oz with the lion who needed his brave heart, right? So it's about bravery. Lions are very prideful, right? Like a pack of lions is called a pride. Lions are very strong. They're very stoic. They're kind of the king of the jungle, right? They represent this royal energy. And this is what we're stepping into right now. This is what this new moon is bringing to us. It's bringing us a sense of royalty and a sense of sovereignty and a sense of being true to ourselves. Thank you, Risha. Sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened to my connection. It got kicked off and got brought back in, and I'm here now. So I apologize for that. We're still recording. So I'm just going to go back and talk again real quick about what I was mentioning with the moon. Okay, there we go. So we're in Leo energy, which brings about a sense of royalty, about being sovereign to ourselves, about making sure that we are being brave, right? Well, typically new moons are about kind of boring stuff, mundane stuff, setting new habits or new goals. So things like I'm going to, make sure my bills are paid by a certain day every month, or I'm going to set a goal to drink X amount of water every day, or I'm going to make sure that I exercise regularly. They're kind of these mundane things that as a collective, we all tend to work towards, right? Like typically diet, body, and money are the three main things that we focus on. And this new moon is a little bit different. It's saying, hey, like that stuff is there and you're going to worry about it. Don't worry about it right now. Okay. The new moon in Leo is asking us to instead set intentions around boosting our ego and loving on ourselves. And this might seem a little weird or a little bit different. Like I said, it's not your typical new moon. But it's really important that we learn to give ourselves more awareness and more attention and more self-care so that we want to show up to all these other habits and intentions that are more mundane that we want to set, right? If you don't feel good, then you won't show up to other things that make you feel good. If you don't stroke your ego and congratulate yourself and pat yourself on the back and love yourself for where you are and how far you've come, then you won't move forward and continue to work harder to make change in the future. So this new moon is saying, hey, congratulations, you've done a lot of work so far. Take a break. Sit back, and over these next 30 days, just focus on yourself. Like, be happy, bring more joy into your life, bring more pleasure into your life, and move from a place where you want to live at your truest expression. So you're happiest when you are your truest self, right? When you're your most original self. So this is what we're moving towards now. The moon is saying, hey, you have permission. You have permission to be yourself. You have permission to do what you want and live how you want and prioritize joy in your life, because that's how you will truly level up from here. So examples of this. If you if you do journaling during the new moon, you might, have a little journal experience and say, hey, like in my, most joyful day, these are the clothes that I wear. In my most joyful day, these are the foods that I eat. In my most joyful day, these are the people that I hang out with. In my most joyful day, this is the work that I do professionally. Write out some of these things that bring you joy and bring you pleasure so that you can figure out how to start to prioritize them into your life. So I mentioned that I'm a Leo rising, and if there's any Leo risings out there, your rising sign is what you are, trying to be in this life, what you're trying to accomplish and achieve. And it's interesting that, over maybe the past 8 to 10 year journey that I've taken through personal development, I've found myself, wanting to be more and more of my truest self. And so I've found myself in my own life, showing up with no makeup. I haven't worn makeup in years, right? So, part of me about rising to my most authentic self and rising up to this Leo sign is learning how to be brave enough to live at my most authentic expression and live at, my most joyful self. And my most joyful self likes a bare face. I don't like to wear makeup. I never have, even as a young girl, even as a teenager. It just doesn't make me happy. So now I show up to my life with this lion bravery to not wear makeup. Same thing with my hair. I don't worry about how my hair is anymore. Or, I want to show up and wear, my yoga pants every day. And I wear these in public and I don't care what people think. And this is part of me meeting this Leo energy because it's something I really have to work on in my entire life. So if you're a Leo rising, you really want to apply what's coming in through this lunar cycle. If you're not a Leo rising or a Leo sun, then you simply just want to work on, showing up in your most authentic, joyful self every day over the next 30 days and kind of see how that transforms your life moving forward, because it'll probably make big shifts as you move on to more of the mundane, everyday goals that you want to work on. Okay, I hope this makes sense. Please let me know in the chat if this is making sense to you, or if you have any questions about this at all. I want to make a shift. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Vedic astrology right now. I'm going to grab a quick drink of water as well, just wet my whistle, wet my throat chakra. So there's a whole other side to the astrological world, and while, predominantly I focus on the Western tropical zodiac, I do also dabble and look into the Vedic side of things, the Vedic astrology, on the Eastern side of the world. And right now, in the Vedic side of the world, the moon is in the Magha, M-A-G-H-A, nakshatra. Nakshatras are just lunar mansions. They're places in the sky. And the Magha nakshatra is located right at the heart center of the Leo constellation. So this is ruled by a star known as Regulus. And like I said, it's right here at the heart center of Leo. And so we're really bringing in this heart, lion-hearted energy, right? Doesn't matter if you're on the Western side of the world in the Leo zodiac or you're on the Eastern side of the world in the Magha nakshatra, but either way, we're in this strong, powerful, courageous, lion-hearted energy. So Leo lion energy has been going on for a while now. We've been in the Leo season, and we've also just passed through the Lion's Gate portal. Remember, I mentioned the pyramids. I mentioned Egypt, right? This beautiful citrine pyramid. Natural pyramid. We just got through the Lion's Gate portal, and what this means is that the star Sirius, now this is a different star, but the Sirius star is known as our spiritual sun, and it's a star that is 70 times larger than, actually 71% larger than our actual sun. So it's a very important star in the sky, and it's been worshipped since pretty much the beginning of time, and it lines up with the pyramids of Giza and the Sphinx during mid-August during the Lion's Gate portal. And this is a time of symbolizing, let me back up. It's enhancing energy, right? It's enhancing not only the sun energy, but it's enhancing this lion energy. It's lining up with the Sphinx and the pyramids of Giza. And it's reminding us to be really radiant. okay, to really shine and really put ourselves in the spotlight. So, when the star lines up, it shines a spotlight onto the Sphinx. And this is what's going on right now. We're getting a spotlight. A spotlight is being shown upon us, okay? So this heart star in the center of Leo, this is symbolized by a royal throne in Vedic astrology, okay? Remember we talked about the lion being the king of the jungle. Well, the kings and the queens, they're in the limelight, they're in the spotlight, they rule, right? This is the energy we're being brought into right now. The new moon is asking us to take charge and start ruling our life, to stop giving away our power to others, to stop, letting others control us. And this isn't just people, but this is people, places, things, other energies, to stop letting it take over our lives. It's time for us to shine. It's time for us to be sovereign. It's time for us to be the queens and kings that we deserve to be and really rule this life. So I mentioned the spiritual sun, right? The sun rules Leo energy. So every sign is ruled by a certain planet. Leos are ruled by the sun. I don't know if you are a Leo or if you know any Leos, but Leos kind of act like the world revolves around them. In a good way. They're very inspiring. They're very brave. They're very, out there, and they kind of let the freak flag fly. Like, they don't care. Leos are just like, I'm gonna let my main be crazy, and I'm gonna be crazy and sexual and wild and free, and I don't care. And it's a really cool energy to be in. And how cool would it be if we could all just live like that? Right? Like, how cool could it be if we could all just let our freak flag fly, if we could all just be our wild and crazy selves, no matter what that looks like, that we could be fun and free, and we wouldn't have to worry about any repercussions from it. What a wonderful life that would be, right? So this is what's happening right now. The sun is shining down. Sirius is in the sky. The spiritual sun is shining down on us. All of the light is on us right now as we stand in this Leo new moon. And it's time to say, okay, all right, I'm here. I'm on fire for who I want to be. And it's time to move forward and be that person for good. So another thing that's really interesting about the Maga Nakshatra and this royal throne, this represents a royalty that we need to live up to. It represents us taking over and being sovereign and really acting like the world revolves around us, really ruling our life. But this also represents a throne that both the angels and the deities and the ancestors and the ascended masters all sit on. Okay, this is the royal throne of the God, goddess energy, and you can look at this royal throne however you want. Okay, but this is why I'm bringing in the angel courts tonight, the angel aura courts. I mentioned that we call upon the angels here in my studio every day. My father-in-law does that, and I call upon all of the entities that need to serve here every day when I'm in this space. And it's important to know, Moon Tribe, it's important to know that we are this God stuff. We are this goddess stuff. We are the ancestors of these ascended masters. We are the human form of the angels. We are the human form of the deities and the gods and the goddesses. And, we're living out this life on planet Earth with the mission to find that essence within ourselves again. So when we're highlighting this royal throne, this royal essence, we have to also remember that we are the risen ancestors. We are the ancestors of our great ancestors. We are the ancestors of the healers, of the medicine women. We are the ancestors of the channelers. We are the ancestors of the prophets. We are the ancestors of those that have left this holy grid on this planet for us to follow. We all came from the original man and woman, right? And so with that, we have to remember our royal veins. We have to remember our royal bloodline. So this means that we can live a life where the world revolves around us. We can live as if the sun is always shining on us. We can live as if we are in the spotlight. We can live as queens and kings and rule over our queendom and kingdom and rule over our life, but we can do it with the spiritual energy. We can do it with ascended frequencies. We can live out of a higher level of ourselves, a higher evolution of ourselves, and still do all of this stuff at the same time, okay? So you can be selfish and selfless at the same time, and sounds like, how is that possible? Well, when we think about ourselves being God, goddess, there is no separation. Right? There is no dichotomy. The human makes the dichotomy. The human makes the man, the woman separate. We're not separate from that. And so when we learn to really remember that, we remember that when we're being selfish, we're being selfless. We remember that when we take care of ourselves and we enhance our God, goddess spirit within us, it makes us a higher vibrational being. And it makes the other people around us want to be higher vibrational beings as well. And it makes others around us want to start focusing on their self and ruling their life with sovereignty and ruling their life out of a God, goddess eye or spiritual eye. And you can see how it does raise the collective as a whole. So be selfish. Be selfish this month, but do it in a selfless way. Work on yourself, improve yourself, okay? Do self-care practices that help you be a better person. Do rituals and ceremonies that help you feel more aligned with spirit. One of the questions I've been asking a lot of people lately, clients that have been coming to me for Reiki and spiritual healing, the question that's been coming through from the universe lately is, what is spirituality to you? What is spirituality to you? What does that mean, right? It doesn't have to mean anything to anybody else. It just has to mean something to you. So find what the spirituality is to you. Find the practices that support that. Find things in your day-to-day to help you be more spiritual, to be more joyful, to be more sovereign, and rule your life the way that the kings and queens wanted us to, the way that the angels really want us to. I'm going to check the chat really quick. If anything's coming through with this, feel free to put it in there. Okay, let me know if anything's coming through, if you have any questions. Ultimately, we're just being asked to, step up and be ourselves and rule our life with ease. And I think that I'm really moving into that in this current chapter. COVID has given us an opportunity to really shift things and really decide, like, how do we want to live from here? How do we want to rule our life? It certainly made me think about, like, how do I want to run my business? How do I want to find that work-life home balance? How do I want to create time for myself and still have time for, my service to others in the world? This is the time to really start focusing on that. And then when you get to that Virgo new moon here in a month, you can get organized and make your plans and your lists and your to-dos and all the stuff that you want to do there. Like, I will meditate every day for 15 minutes. You don't have to set that goal today. Today it's just, hey, meditation makes me happy, brings me more peace. I'm going to try to do more of that. And when I'm angry and frustrated and anxious, I'm going to take time out to meditate, even if it's a minute, because I know that that helps me, right? Like, this is what we're moving into with this energy, just a heightened awareness of what brings us more joy and pleasure and peace in our life. Okay, so I would like us to do a quick meditation, and then I'm going to do a tarot reading. I'll do the tarot interpretation, and then we'll seal our circle. So for your meditation today, I'd like you to just find a comfortable seat, whatever that is for you. I'd like you to bring your hands, one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly, your solar plexus energy. I would like you to close your eyes when you're ready and just take some deep breaths in and out, remembering that the hands are a guide for your breath. As you inhale, feel your breath pass down through your heart, down into your belly. As you exhale, feel your breath pass out of your belly and past your heart. And just breathe in and out in this way, heart to belly, belly to heart and beyond. And with every exhale, maybe you release a little bit of tension in the body or anything that is distracting you or causing discomfort right now. Just simply breathe and nourish yourself. These hands on your body reminding you to love yourself, to take care of yourself, to focus on yourself. Keep breathing now. And as you breathe, I want you to breathe into your truest version of yourself, your most authentic self. And maybe that most authentic self is not showing up on the outside right now. That's okay. You're tuning within. When you breathe into your most authentic self, moon sisters and moon brothers, do you have any sensations or feelings that come about right away? What about when you think about expressing this version of yourself in the external world? Notice how you feel there. Imagine a world where there was no repercussion for you expressing yourself how you wanted to. And in this world, if you were living at your most authentic self, what would you wear? On a daily basis or a regular basis, what type of clothes would you wear that would make you most happy and joyful? What about your hair? How would your hair look? Would it be a certain color? What about what you did for a living? At your most authentic self, if you were doing the thing that you know you were gifted on this planet, in this life to do, what would you be doing? What would you do for work and service to this world that would bring you joy? If you were living your most authentic self, what would you do for fun? What kind of hobbies would you have? What would you be into? What would you put your energy towards? If you were living your most authentic self, how would you show up every day? How would you wake up? How would you go to bed? How would you live in between? If you were living your most authentic self, who would you surround yourself with? Who would you allow yourself to share your energy with? Who would you allow to be in your circle? If you were living your most authentic self, what would that look like? How would that feel? Notice any other details that come through. Take a few more deep breaths into your heart and your belly and back out, clearing your mind. Bring your hands together at your heart when you're ready. And begin to blink your eyes open. So it's a time to notice what sets your heart on fire. When you get that nice new hairdo, right? The haircut or the hair color that you love that makes you feel on fleek, right? What does that look like? What kind of heart's desire does your hair want to look like? If you were living out of your heart's desire, what would you want to wear? I've always been a person that likes to wear lots of colors, funky clothes. Always been into that. If you were living your most authentic self, what would you be doing in your free time? What would bring you joy? What would bring you pleasure? You know, all of these things are the things to focus on right now. So feel free to write all this down after this circle, after this transmission, write down everything that came through, because, you know, as you move forward from this and you find yourself maybe in a lower frequency, or you find yourself anxious or frustrated or stuck or anything like that, you can look back and say, oh, look, here's this list of all these things that are my most authentic self, my truest expression, or things that bring me joy. Could I maybe incorporate one of those into my life right now? So bring in this fire element that's so strong right now, you know, the fire element of Leo, the fire element of our heart. Set yourself on fire for this life. It shouldn't be any other way, right? And have the courage to have that life you want, design that life you want, be brave about it. Express through your throat chakra what you need and what you want, so that you have this life full of joy. Risha says, coincidentally, I decided that this month I was going to focus on me. Perfect. Yes. It's the time. It's the time to start focusing on you. It's time for all of us to start focusing on ourselves. Okay, so I'm going to go over the tarot. I pulled these tarot cards before our circle tonight, and whenever I pull cards for the new moon, I pull 3 cards. I usually ask for a past card, a present card, and a future card. Any messages that are coming through from the universe. So for our past card tonight, I received the 7 of Swords. It's interesting because we've just moved into the 8th month, right? So the past being 7, the month of July. And swords are always a symbology of cutting cords, cutting ties, setting boundaries, letting go, not holding on to things. And we're kind of moving into that energy, right? Like each month with this shift in uncertain times, we're letting go of the past, letting go of old ways, letting go of the old earth, right? Moving into a new earth right now. You know, 7 is a very holy number as well. 7 is very symbolic of many things. It can be the 7 deadly sins, can be the 7 chakras. Mary Magdalene talks about the 7, I can't think of what you call it, 7 things that we need to overcome with the ego, basically. There's the 7 circles of hell in some traditions. And actually, you know, we've talked about Egypt, but just recently, you know, this Lionsgate portal that we went through, and this Sirius star that has shown up where it has, you know, the Sirius star itself, when it's making its transit behind the sun, there's a story about Isis. And Isis going into the underworld to go see her sister, Ereshkigal. But Ereshkigal is the shadow side of us, is what this symbolizes. And as Isis travels into the gateways of hell to see her sister, she goes through 7 gateways. And within each of those 7 gateways, she sheds a layer of her identity, whether that be her jewelry or her staff or her crown or her clothing, until she's bare boned at the very end. And so it's very interesting that we've literally just come out of that story, out of that energy. There's another story that's very similar with a Greek god. I can't think of the name of the goddess, but again, it's the story of, you know, the queen of the heavens and the earth going to meet the queen of the underworld. And the result of the story, I won't get into it now, but the result of the story is that the queen of the heaven and earth, or Isis, or whoever you want to represent, she spends 6 months in the underworld and 6 months on the earth. And this represents winter and summer. Basically, this is what's going on right now. But the bigger story behind that is in this transition, right? In this transition of darkness to light, there's these 7 passageways that we go through, or when we journey through our own human body on this planet, we're going through our 7 chakras and really understanding our 7 energy centers. We're learning to let go of the 7 deadly sins. If we're learning to live out of the spiritual eye, remembering to live out of our godly inherited bloodline, goddess inherited bloodline. So the 7 of Swords represents letting go of what no longer serves. But in particular, it also represents letting go of lies and deceit. So this is the card of the past, and this is representing a time that we've been lied to and we've been deceived. And I think that is so true, because we're starting to really step into our power. And I just wrote about this with my blog on the moon today, but that we're, you know, we've had our power taken away from us. We've been told that we're separate. We've been told that we're separate from the God, goddess stuff. We've been told that we need to rely on external sources to rule. We have these governments that are crumbling around us right now, right? Like the old ways are no longer serving us. And so it's time to let go of all of those lies and that deceit that was taking away our power. It's time to start living from your truest essence and your truth from within. Notice the red, the blood, right? Trusting what's coming from within your God, goddess bloodline. Trusting the truth there with all of this darkness, with the new moon, all of this uncertainty and the times that we're in right now, the shift that we're making from the dark age to the golden age of light. I talk about it like every moon circle, right? We have to go through a process of letting go, and we have to learn that we can trust letting go of those old ways, right? Like we're defunding police right now. People are really scared about that, really worried about that. Can we trust that we all deep down in our core are good people, and that there will maybe be less crime and be less injustice by defunding the police? I don't know. I'm not saying my opinion one way or another. I'm just saying this is what's going on right now in current times. Governments are crumbling. Beirut's government completely just stepped down, right? All of their ruling is stepping down right now. Risha, I know you're in Trinidad. I know the government's crazy right now. I know you just went through a political election, right? And you got the same guy. You're not so happy about it, am I right? Maybe a little, yeah. So, and same thing, we're dealing with it here in America, right? Where like we have this election coming up, and is Trump going to be president another 4 years? What is that going to mean for us? Do we want to choose Biden? Like, is that a better choice? I don't know. But there's a lot coming into question about the way that we're being ruled right now, and especially with government. And I really think moving forward, I don't think it's going to happen just with this lunar cycle, but I think that we are waking up right now to letting go of those old ways and understanding that they no longer serve us, and that there is a better way, that we can all rule with sovereignty, that we can all, rule collectively amongst one another without separating and taking away each other's power, or feeling like somebody is better than or less than, because that's not how we're meant to rule this world. If we're all God and goddess stuff, we should be treating each other accordingly. So the 7 of Swords is just saying, hey, there's been lies, there's been deceit in the past, but it's time to let go of it. It's time to cut ties, and it's time to start listening to what's coming from within. Travel through your 7 energy centers. Start seeing things out of your crown chakra, out of your God, goddess spiritual energy. And this is how you'll move forward peacefully, as well as all of this chaos is around us right now. So as far as the present card, I pulled the Emperor. Here he is, the Emperor. And it's interesting because I pulled the Emperor during the Lionsgate portal as well on 8/8. And so I think this is a really important card right now. It's represented by the number 4. Sorry, I had to think about that for a moment. Looking at this card, my eyes aren't so great right now. So it's represented by the number 4. 4 is always a number of completion, 4 seasons in a year, 4 trimesters from the time a woman becomes pregnant and postpartum. 4 is the number of the angels. If you ever see 444, angel number means the angels are around you, and spirit guides and deities magical entities are with you, right? So I think that number one, this card is letting us know that the angels are here, that we are protected, right? Like we've got this royal throne being, shown to us right now, that the angels are seated upon in our ancestors, and we're being protected, and we're going on a journey right now on this planet, and it seems very uncertain, but to understand that it's all for our greater good, that we're being taught bigger lessons amongst all of it. You might notice here there's also the Aries symbol. Aries is a fire sign. I mentioned that we've got a lot of fire energy right now, and Aries are a bit of a stubborn energy as well, and there is a bit of a stubbornness in this present time of like not wanting to let go of the old and not sure about shifting into the new, and what is the new that we shift into. So again, leaning into your heart center, leaning into the fires of your heart for that inner truth is really important. The whole card is green. That's the color of the heart chakra as well. You have these leaves here as well, representing life, representing generational. You think about family trees, right? So the ancestors are here with us. He's sitting on a royal throne. Right? Like we literally have the throne represented by the Maga Nakshatra here. And the emperor is a little selfish. Okay. So the empress, his consort, she's the loving, nurturing, motherly moon, lunar energy. The emperor, take no fucks, pardon my French, but he does take no fucks. He, the sun revolves around him. He rules his life. He doesn't second guess. He doesn't let people deceive him. He stays truthful and honest and loyal to himself first. And that's what helps him to rule with such ease over his kingdom. The exact message that's coming through right now with this new moon. We are being asked to be sovereign to ourselves, to set up on our high throne, be high and mighty, and live accordingly. So let the world revolve around you for a while. This is important right now. Don't let other people take your power or your control. Okay, our future card is the Knight of Pentacles. This actually came through with our full moon transmission as well, I believe. Pretty confident it was there. Pentacles came up all three cards, last moon circles. The Pentacles are still there. Notice this is the future card. So remember that the future is bright, right? Pentacles represent abundance, success, positive energy. It's always darkest before the dawn. The golden age of light is coming. It's on its way. Notice how he's holding the pentacle or the star. He's holding the sun in the palm of his hand, if you want to think about it that way. This whole card is yellow. This is solar plexus energy. This is the energy that we're in right now, right? By the way, pink is also the color of the heart. So we have the pink and the green of the heart. We have the yellow of the solar plexus, exact energy that we're moving through with this lion new moon. And this, Knight of Pentacles, he stays the course. He doesn't get off track, and he trusts that his horse or his intuition knows the way. So he can go for a leisurely stroll. This is what we talked about in the last full moon, right? To let life not be a race, to let it be a peaceful trot. We've got that same message right now, to let life be this peaceful trot, to trust our intuition, to trust that the world revolves around us, that we create our own reality based on our perspective. Can we hold the sun in our hands? Can we move out of our solar plexus? Can we stay positive? Can we believe at our core that we're joyful and we're meant to have a joyful life? I know it seems like that's not what's happening right now. The world is insane, but I promise you it's working out for our greater good. It really is. And you've got to lean into that. And the more that you can lean in to the abundance in your life right now, to the trust that all is working out for you, the more peace will come during this chaotic time, not only through this lunar cycle, but moving forward in the next 6 months to a year. Because I'm sorry, if you're an astrologer, if you work with astrology, you know, things aren't going anywhere anytime soon. We've got some time to work through all this stuff, okay? We've got some dark stuff to work through. We've had a lot of oppression. We've had a lot of stuff happen over the past 100 or so years. It's time to make a shift and move forward. But it's going to take some time, so we need to be patient with that. So that's the Knight of Pentacles there for you, reminding you to take this leisurely life with pleasure and joy as you deserve so. So we've got our Seven of Swords, trusting our heart, letting go of old ways that no longer serve, moving out of our spiritual consciousness, Christ consciousness, Magdalena consciousness, Isis Inanna consciousness. The Emperor, live your life with royalty. Rule your life accordingly so. Be a little selfish right now. Take time for yourself so that you can be a better person to others moving forward and inspire them to do the same. Knight of Pentacles, trust in the future. Abundance is on the way. Stay positive. Stay in the light. You always have it from within. Okay, Moon Tribe, that is what is coming through tonight for this new moon in Leo, new moon in Magha Nakshatra. If you have any questions or if you have anything coming through, feel free to put it in the chat. I'm going to grab a drink of water and then we'll seal our circle if we don't have anything else coming through. I did take time, by the way, to write about the moon a little bit today. So if you go to my website, vinalene.com, and you click on Moon Musings, you'll see a post about the moon. So you can read a little bit more about what we talked about tonight. And then I did record this transmission, so I will have it up on YouTube and the website as well if you want to review it. I will write a post about the tarot reading, likely put it up tomorrow as well on the website and on my social media. If you want to learn more. And sometimes when I get to writing, I'm better at communicating through written word than voice. So things tend to come through more when I write. So you'll want to check that out if you want to read more on the tarot. But I thank you all for tuning in, whether you're tuning in live or you're tuning into the replay. Thank you, Risha, for tuning in. Thank you for chatting with me. And I think that we'll just seal our circle with a few nice deep breaths. Let's do a little bit of lion's breath tonight. I think this will really serve us. So lion's breath, Shalambhasana is a pranayama practice or a breathwork yogic practice that helps to really nourish and strengthen both the heart chakra and the throat chakra. It helps to vibrate the vocal cords and really activate that energetic center to help you to learn to roar and express yourself. And this is also a very cleansing breath, so it can help you to release any tension or anything that might be like holding your heart back from being your bravest, truest self. Excuse me, I had a little indigestion there talking about the fire. So the way that we do this, we will inhale through the nose, and when we exhale, we're going to stick our tongue out and kind of provide like a little bit of a roar or a purr, kind of like a however that sounds. And then if you like, you can also look up into your third eye or into, the upward spaces of your brain as you do so. And what you're doing is you are expressing yourself, looking up into your spiritual eye and activating all of this at the same time. So let's try this maybe, let's do 4, since 4 is a powerful number right now with the angels with us and this Emperor card. We'll do 4 rounds of this Shalambhasana. So start just relaxing wherever you are. And when you're ready, let's take the inhale first. Exhale. And again, inhale. Exhale. Really let that roar happen. Inhale. Exhale. One final time. Inhale. exhale. Let it all go and shake it out. Thank you, Moon Sisters, Moon Brothers, for tuning into our circle night. Tonight, I am sending you so many blessings with this new moon in Leo. May you find more time for yourself. May you cultivate more bravery and courage and self-care over the next 30 days. I will see you in a couple of weeks with our next full moon. Until then, namaste.